When it's my own videos, I'm confused to which camera I need to talk.
Yeah. Which one am I talking to?
Mhm.
It doesn't matter. I'll talk to you.
Perfect. So, hello everybody. Today I'm sitting down with Mr. Mark Gooday, the founder, starter, creative genius of Ashdown.
Wouldn't go that far.
Well, I am.
That's very, very nice of you. Yeah.
This year you released the newer version of my favorite amp in the world. I will keep sucking up to you during the interview just because I absolutely love your material.
you had a great day yesterday with Guy Pratt, didn't you?
Absolutely.
You know, one of your heroes, and
very grateful for that one.
Man, he's just so easy to work with. You know, he's used my amps, Trace Elliott and Ashdown, since 34 years.
Yeah.
And it really even more interesting. I was with Youth from Killing Joke, who's Martin Glover, the producer for The Verve, Pink Floyd, Crowded House, and he also said, "Do you know I've used your amps for 34 years?" God, I'm old. That's the thing that worried me, but hey.
I wouldn't go that far. I just would say I've been in the business a long time, and it's a good business because, just interrupt me if the sucking up becomes too annoying.
Don't worry, I will. Yeah, I'll go bright red and then just...
Okay.
Okay, good.
We already talked about it a little bit, but let's now do it on camera.
Yeah, no worries.
The first thing I noticed, which is different on this one, is it's
clip
not.
parts. Yeah. I did when I first did the ABMs back in '96 when we designed them. There was a mixed opinion because the Trace Elliott, we always had the clip pots for notching, and I decided I wanted more accuracy. So when you have a clip pot, you are set. You can't. So you've gone one volume. It's too far. It's too far. And so I purposely, when I did these, did the different thing to Trace Elliott. In fact, the whole concept was not to be like a Trace Elliott. It was about tone, about fatness, about warmth, about size of sound. It wasn't about slap and mids and honkiness. I wanted to have all of that tone, and it was all designed on a 63 Jazz, which was my matching headstock, candy apple red, which was stolen, long story. But not long ago, we had Doug Wimbishover, who helped us with the Be Social, which, you know, it was a little bit far-fetched and a lot of money for what it was as a product. Great product for recording in home, but Doug helped us with that immensely. But he also then said, Mark, can you put the click pots back? I go, why, Doug? Come on. And he said, look, this is straight. He said, I'm on stage, and that's what I do. He's a performer. Yeah. It's often very dark, and I go up to your amps, and I go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he said, that's what I do. Sometimes I don't even look at it. I haven't got time, but I know what the clip pots do and I know what they mean. And he said, and then generally, I leave it flat. It's like, so I put all this EQ in for nothing. Yeah. He said, no. It's when I'm in the studio, it's different. But when I'm on stage, I know what I want. I've got my bass and there's enough EQ, but I know where I have to have these settings set by clip pots. So we actually put it back in all the ABM and all the Root Masters, because they're the more professional products, and they're going to be used on stage, possibly in the dark, as Doug said. So, I mean, a lot of what we do, really a lot of what we do is from artists or music stores, friends, people here, at Toeman, who've used Ashdown for a long time, Joey, who's, I learned so much from him yesterday. He played with Michael Jackson.
Apparently
and it's like, oh my goodness, you know, and he's had Ashdown since the day we started nearly, and he's got lots of them. So we're very fortunate to have that kind of fan base. Well, that's how we started. We started with me being a useless bass player, but I like sound, and having built bass amps at Trace Elliott for 14 years before, you know, I was kicked out of the company. That was financial reasons. And it was great designing something, but even then, we went to a great music store in London, the Bass Centre. Nice one, guys. The Bass Centre was the place to go. And a lovely chap there called Nick Owen, who's got such tone. The guy, he tours all the time and no one really knows him, but my God, he can play. Very, very quiet. And one of the things he said as a music store is, look, it sounds amazing, but what does it do? Because the original ones had bass, middle, treble.
Yeah.
Do you need any more than bass, middle, treble? Really? Anyway, the answer to a retail store is, what does it do? What's your unique selling point? So we ended up, I always wanted the sub-Octavian, not as an octave. It's just to fatten the sound. If you turn it all the way around, yes, you're going to get a proper octave, and it tracks really nicely, and Guy Pratt loves it because that's his signature sound, very much so in Earth Song, and that's Guy. But it was more that I like it said about there.
Yeah.
Literally just fatness. You're not really hearing the octave. You just go, where did that?
It's something there.
Yeah, it's depth, it's warmth, it's fatness. And I think we were talking earlier. We don't change the amps, especially the ABM, very often. I mean, the Evo III, which I think you've got,
indeed.
has its sound. It's very toneful, and it was, again, not much different to the early ones. We put sliders, a few extra sliders in, but we don't change it. It's 9 years since we upgraded it. But if something's good, Fender, they bring out another colour Strat every week. But if it's good, it's good.
Yeah.
And then the basics we try and leave the same. Our products are a bit bigger than some people's because we put shelving around the front, so you can't damage your knobs and back. We put little things in everything to make it reliable, doesn't get damaged. You can drop them, you can park cars on them, and even our Chinese stuff we make. I mean, I think there's a video, and if there isn't, I'll send you it, of me dropping a Rootmaster cabinet out of 4 stories high onto concrete without packaging.
I think I've seen that.
And it's in one piece. Yeah. It's got a little crack, but this is from 4 stories. So, and we're gonna, you're about to see some little tweaky upgrades coming in the next 4 weeks. They're not going to look any different, but some people, everything's about customer relations. Everything's about feedback, and these little upgrades on here were about feedback, increasing the treble, because it's a little trend, and everyone, we love the tone, but we've now got a lot more brightness and attack and transients, a bit more power, a bit more headroom. All very easy to do, but the important was that you can then flick it back and get the old-fashioned Evo III sound and the tone. So this has really just been an upgrade, simple one, but the power section, the transformer, that's been using that transformer and that power section for over 30 years. It doesn't go wrong.
Your winning team.
That's it. We'd like this. I was saying we'd like this product to be still in circulation, repairable for people in 50 years. And there's no reason. There is nothing in here that even a layman that can take it out with 4 screws and fix it. You don't always need a service engineer. But look, anyone out there, if you want to get it fixed, send it to us. We charge often nothing, even if it's a 10-year-old product. We've got every part in stock, and they're online in the service centre. We are little family business. Same people have worked for me forever, and a lot of them came from Tracer and stayed with me. We want to be here in 50 years' time, making the same things and hopefully improving still.
Well, by then it might be the Evo V already.
Yeah, it could be another 10 years. Obviously, we still have to stay with the times. Class D. I'm not a great fan. It doesn't have the balls, the headroom, the sound, and there's also a massive amount of bullshit of the power, the real power. And people have got to start testing RMS power. Proper root mean square, proper how much power is that thing going to run for an hour at full blast with real frequencies, not just from 60 hertz. And just come on, guys, let's do real power tests. Then you'll see a man's amp to a boy's amp. Sorry. And then you've got people falsifying where the knobs go. So, you're in a shop. And this is done, cars do it. Volkswagen, everyone's cars. Sorry, I mustn't get sued.
We're in Germany, so they are aware of it.
56 miles an hour. Everything's calibrated for mega efficiency. And then a lot of people's amps, especially the Class D amps, are designed that when you're in a music store, you turn this up, and you only have to turn the volume up a tiny bit. And you go, wow, how? Yeah, but you take it home and you turn it round there and there and there. It doesn't get any louder. It's compression. It's limited. It's controlled. Yeah. So people are doing things to make their amps sound louder, especially when you first buy them. Then you've got to play in a gig. Yeah, good luck with that. It's not real. But we have to make it. Lightweight's going to be here forever. We've put massive effort into making our Class Ds loud, real balls, real sound, and super light and portable. And that's, again, we were kind of mentioning some of the stuff that's about to arrive in 3 or 4 weeks' time. We spent the past 6 months in the factory, more testing, and more weight reduction, but making strength so it could be dropped out of the building. You may have seen a few little pictures, humidity test, minus 40 degrees, plus 90 degrees, stress testing. All these pots are turned, a bit like IKEA, 10,000 times. The jack sockets are tested 10,000 times. Cables inside, tested 10,000 times. You know, and that's what we do. It's the extremes we go to, even in China.
Yeah.
You know, and it's, you set these tests up, and it's about longevity. We want these here. You know, we're proud of what we do.
Yeah, well,
and we enjoy it.
Rightfully so.
And we've got some amazing bass players that we don't pay these people, you know, and rarely do we give much product away, much to a few of theirs. Like, what do you mean I've got to pay? There's a few, and they're friends more than anything, but there's not many people who don't actually. Yeah, okay, you know, we're happy to pay for it.
Well, it's the way I see it as a small user. It's a small investment, but as you said, it goes on for years, and once you have it, you're good.
But also, if it does have a problem, just contact us. You know, we get people going on the internet. Oh, I've got this problem, that problem. Just contact us. You know, you'll find no one in the world will reply as quickly. You know, people go to me, you own the company. You replied on a Sunday. Yeah. It's my company. It kind of matters to me. Yeah. I get every service email, every single service email. Wow. I don't answer everyone. I answer a number of them if they're quick and easy, or if there's a real problem. Right, okay, I'm not happy. But I see every single service email, and I reply to an awful lot of them.
Yeah.
And that goes for everyone else in the company. Everyone cares. Well, it's our life. My son, you know Lee, my son-in-law, you know, and young Chris, who worked for me since he was 15 years old through Trace Elliott and here. It means a lot to everyone in our company. And we're very proud to have Toman behind us. Big chain stores in England, PMT, even now Guitar Centre America have gone, you know, you're 22 years old now. I think you might have served your time, you know. And then you've now got Yamaha's bought Ampeg, which actually I think is very good for Ampeg. We'll see what happens next. But there aren't many family businesses left, you know, especially in bass. So we're very proud of it. But yeah, the little upgrades you're going to get. I don't necessarily believe in wadding in cabinets, and there's a mixed opinion on this. On the internet, you've got no wadding, you're not professional. In the Trace days, we had MDF cabinets. They weighed a ton, very harsh, and it was done because those days, a lot of slapping. So the cabinets were shallower, the speed of response and the hard cabinets meant you were getting a very, very fast sound. And there was no wadding. We did that on purpose. And I've never really liked wadding, because I think you're losing something. But there are mixed opinions, and we've done some more tests lately, and I've kind of given in to the rest of my factory. My staff have said, now you've got to have wadding, Mark. So we've done our listening tests, so you're going to see, to all those people who want wadding, there is now wadding, as it should be, coming out in the new cabinets. The cabinets have become a little bit stronger, even so, more so than that, and lighter. So, and the Rootmaster is half the weight. I mean, it could be smaller. Again, all the metal boxes are done. So where other people have metal box, all the knobs stick out, you're going to break them. Ours have got an overhang back and front again on the metal boxes, so you can't. So you can drop it in your van, in your car. You're not going to damage your pots. It costs more. It's a little bit of thought, but it's done for you users. You know, it's everything we try and do. As we were saying, we had Guy Pratt here and Stuart Zendo, and you know, fantastic, creative geniuses, and they know their stuff. So you'll see a couple of pedals coming out from Guy, because Lee and him were sitting here, and they then nailed me yesterday. Said, Mark, we want to do this. Okay, come to the factory next week.
So a tuner probably.
For Guy, it's going to be a special compressor. Yeah, my son's got this thing about the Neve compressor. Guy's got another compressor in mind, so you'll see we'll put together. And Dave Green, who's my tube engineer, and he's been with me forever. He's a perfectionist to the point that we can't make the products he wants us to make because no one will buy it. There'd be too much money. We'd like to. I mean, the BTA 400, the CTM 300s, all these valve amps. Again, they last a lifetime, and they're beautiful amps. But you've got to get a balance between something that's amazing, something you can buy, because otherwise we just become unaffordable.
Yeah.
And then Stuart had there'll be a revised version, simpler version. Yeah, there'll be a simpler version without the tube, and because the tube needs a transformer to drive it, and then suddenly it becomes a big box. And in this world today, no one wants anything big. You know, this is no harder really to carry than a little amp. It's got to handle. You know, it's not hard, but people don't want the weight, and so we everything pedals. We have to look at the size and the weight.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing all that, and then we've had a fantastic speaker upgrade, which will creep through. You know, we're not going to make a big deal of it, but again, less weight, more power, more to match the amp, because this can do a lot more, because the high frequencies and the response, the speakers now have to match that. So they're all creeping through the system over the next 6 months. There'll be nice little sneaky upgrades, and but it's all on feedback. It's what people want.
Well, speaking of feedback, I mentioned it in one of my videos. I have a Rootmaster, I think it's a 215.
Yep.
And that was like my official only complaint about Ashdown. My Evo III has the feet on the right, the left side, and Rootmaster has them on the right.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm a little OCD, so that kind of bugged me.
Have we changed it? I don't know.
I have no idea, so consider this the official feedback.
Right.
Might have a look at
hang
it.
about, this is what I have to do, right? Mm-hmm. I'm getting old. Right, I have to give myself a note right now.
Let's not do it on the camera.
No, just a little note. There you go.
Perfect.
Done. So I've got that on
the
there.
The OCD now. Side in me really thanks
but
you.
Please email in, shout, face messenger, whatever. There's so many ways to communicate today. It's frightening, you know. So WeChat, WhatsApp, but yeah, please, anyone out there would like to see us improve on them. Yeah, we'll try. I mean, that Doug Wimbish thing, that was a lot of work. Yeah, you've got to first approve the pots, then you actually have to go through new approvals, because we've made a physical change to a product. Yeah. On a legal basis, you then have to go through reapproval, recertification. Because again, we spend stupid money on every product on global certification, from Chinese CCC, EMC, proper EMC testing. There are a lot of companies that say they're EMC tested and legal, and because it's got a module in it that is approved, doesn't mean the product's legal. You actually have to then send the whole product for appraisal and approval, because this electromagnetic compatibility, so doesn't interfere with phones and radio. It's a really important part of life. So changing those pots meant a new approval, and you go, really? It's a huge amount of effort and money for the changing to a click pot, but it's a different product. So any minor, and this is why you don't want to change as a manufacturer too often. It's a very expensive thing to upgrade a product. Yeah. So we try not to, but when the public go, we would like this and that, or Doug Wimbish, who I've known forever and he's an absolutely legendary player. I love going to see him play anytime. Just see him and Stuart just doodling, and then seeing Guy Pratt playing funk. Yeah, you know, him playing chic. It's like, damn, he's brilliant.
Apparently, he can do some disco bass.
Yeah, well, just a bit. Yeah, that is where he was brought up on that. You know, and then you get Geezer Butler telling us what he wanted was actually quite complex. Yeah. And Geezer, there's no royalties, there's no commission. He just loves the amp, and he's put his name to it. Yeah. There's no money changing hands, which was a surprise to me, to be honest with you. He's helped us immensely. Terry, his tech, the design that went into it from their team with us. But no, and he drove himself to NAMM. Geezer Butler, my hero, drove to NAMM, did the show, signed autographs for hours, stayed in the hotel and drove himself home for us. That's just like, wow, how does that happen? Well, you know, it's just wow.
That's coming back to the from my experience. If you have a good company, you're willing to go that extra mile for it.
Oh man, it was an absolute shock beyond belief. And that's happened to us. Maybe because we do go the extra mile for an artist. If someone wants something, James Amenza, he drew out his pedal, we built a pedal. His amp, he wanted the graphics like that, we did it. If you wanted that white amp, we do it. So and we love custom shop stuff. It is, as a designer or an ideas person, which I regard myself as more than a designer, it's boring making black boxes. You know, it's boring making the same. You want to be creative and come up with new products all the time. And then my son and my son-in-law and the rest of my company slap me around the face and say, whoa, stop. Because you've also got to sell it, market it, approve it, get it packaging approved, because you've got to do drop tests, you know, for it to be able to ship around the world. So it's a fantastic job I have. I'm very lucky. It's not a job. It's a way of life, isn't it?
Even better.
Yeah.
Then, to close up, I'll ask the one question that everyone has who watches an Ashdown amp. What's the VU meter for? Okay,
being really honest, when I left Trace Elliott, the ultraviolet light, it lit up. And you're sitting there, you're going, gee, damn, you know. And also on the Trace Elliott, we had a 3-way indicator to tell you whether you're clean, overdriven, or on the right level. So the VU meter was to set your base signal up clean. So you plug in, you either set your passive active, you set your shape here or not, and it all reacts with the EQ, because each EQ is obviously an individual volume control for that frequency, and they cascade over each other. So once you've kind of set your original input up, then you want to set your EQ to how you kind of fancy it, and then you want to check maybe back down so the needle's not in the red. Then your signal going into that circuit is clean. Now, you don't have to do that though, because I have no problem. You can drive everything over into the red, overdrive the shit out of it, put the octaver on, distort the hell out of it, and quite a few bands do that because it gives this amazing, huge, fat, distorted, overdriven octave sound. So never be afraid of overdriving it. But if you are someone who actually wants a clean note, you want to slap, you want to play 6-string, you want to play some bloody clean, beautiful, you know, 6-string stuff where you can hear everything, you need clarity. So just keep it out of the red after you've set your EQ. So you do a partial setup, and then you set your EQ, make sure that when you're playing your loudest notes, that's not in the red. Then you're clean. But don't be afraid of overdriving the hell out of it, because that's what they're designed for. You know, some people, oh man, you know, why you're driving it? That, sounds fine. The amp won't blow up. Yeah, there's lots of things. I mean, I shouldn't say this, but this will run into 2 ohms. Not supposed to, but people do. People are running this 2 810s off this, and they're designed. It might shut down if it gets too hot, but it will come back and nothing will go wrong.
Perfect.
You know, so they're not bulletproof to the nth degree, but they're bloody close. And that's what we want.
Well, perfect.
Yeah, brilliant, Mikhail. Thank you.
Thank you for sitting down with me and having this talk.
My pleasure. Please email anything you want to me or call me or Lee.
If the feet get adjusted, I'm
we'll do that
for life.
Done. Yeah.
Thank you
OCD.
very much.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
man. Thank you, everyone.
Goodbye.
Wicked.
Thanks, Simon.
He's gone.
Done. Thank you, Victor.